Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Now that we've covered the theatrical movie, today we're covering the insane TV spin-off of The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron.
Yes. Now this amazing series ran for 3 seasons and a TV movie on Nickelodeon and showcases the gadgets made by Jimmy and how a simple invention can cause a citywide problem every single time.
Yeah, it's like Dexter's Lab. Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and little pause videos.
Yes. This is one of those series that you don't forget. I don't care how far it's going to be into the future, you're just not going to forget Jimmy Neutron. And you notice some of the things are outdated. You know, some are no longer relevant. You know, the animation has exceeded what they had, but this is one of those feel-good, comfort, I just want to have fun series that you can't forget. And it's one of those home runs that Nickelodeon hit, like Avatar.
Yes. And there was to a point where, you know, season 1 and 2 were, you know, just as fun as the movie. It would just be, the thing would be, okay, there's a problem or something, you want to fix it, something simpler, okay, make an invention. The invention goes wrong, you gotta stop it. And the thing with all the inventions were pretty much usually well-meaning. Like, he wanted to help his dad with his job at the toy company. He couldn't invent a toy to save his life, so he kept inventing the toys for him so he would keep his job. Or the pants, you can't put the pants away, so let the pants put away themselves.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then the pants want to take over the world because reasons. So it would be some well-meaning stuff, and then it would just turn bad. So that was also something different about it.
And you got to see his relationships grow with Sheen and with Cindy and Libby and Carl. Yeah, you got to see them grow as friends. There was still crazy and hilarious antics between them. He still fought with Libby and Cindy. But you still got to see them at times they would be more like friends than enemies.
Right.
And they weren't frenemies. They were more like friends than enemies.
Right. So a lot of the bickering kind of went away as the show went on.
But Sheen didn't get any smarter, and he even got a spinoff for being the idiot that he was.
Exactly. And it's like, how is this even possible? And then you get to like season 3, and season 3 is kind of considered the craziest season, but not in a bad way. Like, it goes downhill. It just starts going off the rails with the most bizarre episodes, some most memorable. Right. And they would have the most bizarre things with season 3. Like, one episode, Carl was pregnant with an alien, but it wasn't in his stomach, it was in his rear end, and they're like, what? And then they had one with Jet Fusion getting married to Beautiful Gorgeous. He's our hypnosis.
One of the greatest names ever, Beautiful Gorgeous.
Yeah, one was a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon parody, and there was one that was
SOFHAB when she went on the date
with Thomas Edison.
Yes.
And then one with there was one where it was a TV movie where they had Tim Allen be an intergalactic game show host, and they were trying to save the world by being on TV, and they just had the most bizarre yet hilarious episodes on there. They just started getting really crazy, but like I said, in the best way, because those ended up being even more memorable than the others. The whole series was great, but season 3 was when they went really crazy. They even brought back the aliens from the movie, claiming they were formed, and you know they didn't.
And what I also love is that you had to love Jimmy's parents. You had to love them both. The mom was the smart one, and she was the one who was the disciplinarian at the same time.
Right.
And usually it's not that way, but they kind of reversed it. Hugh was the more fun-loving, the goofy, but not stupid dad.
Right.
Who kind of let Jimmy have his way, and he just wanted to get along with sport and all these different names you would call him. But the mom was more of the disciplinarian, and she was the smarter of the two, but she wasn't smarter in a way like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It was just like, Hugh, this is a better idea.
Yeah.
Or she would give him a direction to do, and he knew not to question it, and he would do it.
Right.
And she was the one who would catch on when Jimmy was doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And it was fun, but you had to love the parents.
Yeah.
They were fun.
They were so fun, they even got some of their own episodes. Some focus on the mom, or some focus on the dad, or even both.
I like the one, of course, where she drank the soda he made, and she started burping, and they thought she was going to be upset, and she just started laughing and staring.
Yes. And they took that from the movie, made its own episodes. Great. And like I said, there's just so many really end up becoming memes or iconic moments from the show. And there was one point where one of my favorite scenes is when Jimmy and Cindy kind of switched brains or bodies.
Yes.
And Jimmy started acting more like a girl and Cindy started acting more like a guy. So, okay, you need to switch them back because they're gonna be stuck if they stay too long. So they kind of switched where it was all of their molecules or their personal likes and dislikes in the little machine. And then the other three friends would have to sort them out how well they know them, and they put them back in the right places. Then Carl got to one left in there, and they were there for hours, and he couldn't figure out where to put it. And it was one molecule up that said, extreme dislike of girls who dislike boys, who dislike girls, who dislike boys, who dislike show-offy girls, who dislike, and Sheen got pissed. He said, this is too confusing, just throw it away!
And now that you said that, that definitely inspired Johnny Test when the same thing happened. The sisters had to do it for him as well.
Yes.
So now we know where the inspiration came from. Didn't even think about that till you said it, but yes, that was hilarious.
Yes. And then you also had like a whole array of villains on here. Not just, the aliens, of course, came back from the movie ones, but they also had villains that were just like really crazy, or they were villain of the day or villain of the week based on the inventions. Jimmy made, like they had, of course, the rich kid trope that wanted to be better than everybody. You had the crazy scientist that was Professor Calamitous, who could never finish a sentence because he couldn't figure out the last word, someone had to finish it for him. And it was just lots of really great ones. And most of the time, like, you didn't even need a villain. Like, they even had like 2 holiday episodes. One was for Halloween, where they went with the trope where everyone became their costume. And then they had the Christmas one where Jimmy was trying to prove Santa didn't exist. It was like, what's with you? It's the scientist kids trying to prove Santa doesn't exist.
As long as he didn't do like Dexter, I was good.
Right? I think you electrocuted him by accident. It was like, I'm sorry, I thought he was fake. And again, this is a really memorable series. It was so memorable that when people had asked for it enough, Nickelodeon finally released a full series, complete series DVD. And you get to see the whole series on Paramount Plus as well. Because, for a while you had a set amount of DVDs and they only had certain episodes. Because there are ones you really wanted, the latter ones towards the end, because they just got really crazy and zany, and you really liked those. So
yes.
they needed to release this after over a decade, because there were some really great episodes that had to be not just for streaming.
And let's not forget the awesome intro.
Yes.
Not only the intro itself, but the song was really catchy,
yes,
unforgettable, and really fun.
Yes. And every time you hear, you automatically know it's the Jimmy Neutron theme. They made a whole new theme for him, and it really worked. Because the one thing that was really stand out about the soundtrack for the movie is that all of the songs were performed by kids. They were kid stars and kid artists, and they would perform the songs.
Some really good songs. Some that I still remember today, and like, okay, these were good songs. Too bad that, these artists didn't go on, because the songs were good.
Yeah. And with that, it was like they really were emphasizing. Yes, that's it. And they were really emphasizing the feeling like this is a kids movie. This is for kids. This is by kids. This is for kids. Everything. And here they kind of have the same thing still. Now they do have, of course, different songs in here. There's still plenty of adults in here. They're definitely being supervised the majority of the time now after the film, so they know that this can't happen again.
After the film.
Yeah, after the film, they are very supervised. The parents are in here a lot now. You even start getting introduced to some of the other kids' parents in here, so they made sure it's like, not after the movie, they're going to be a little more involved now, which was fine because they fit right into the show.
Definitely. Have you guys seen Jimmy Neutron either when it aired originally? Did you see it in reruns? Did you buy the series itself?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments how you first saw it. It'd be really interesting to know when you became aware of the series.
Right.
Or if you're like an original fan.
Right. Oh, and it's definitely, I think, one more thing you gotta point out besides all the memes and the iconic episodes and everything, is that, they still played into the romance part. They didn't do it a whole lot, but you kind of already knew it was something with Jimmy and Cindy.
Course,
that was like no-brainer. But then they had Sheen, like, and Libby. And then it was actually mutual. So I was like, what was happening? And he was actually... Sheen. And then, yes. And then,
all people,
right?
Sheen.
And when they had the It's the old, unfortunately, it's a trope they don't use anymore. It's one where they had like a love potion, and kind of thing, and it went wrong, and they had to get rid of it. It kind of happened like that, and then like they got rid of the potion. They got something that will wear off the effects of it. But even after that, the attraction was still there. Right. And you were thinking, oh, okay, so it's gone now at the end of the episode. She still likes him. So there were times that Sheen could be charming in his weird way, and he was serious. And he was actually trying in his own way, and he was actually serious. You couldn't believe he was capable of even doing this. He was actually serious about it. And then the weirdest one is that call like Jimmy's mom, and it's like, dude, she's married. Why are you jealous of his dad?
And don't forget, in the spinoff for Sheen's show, we finally got to find out his name, which was Sheen Estevez, which was a call out to Martin Sheen family and Charlie Sheen and all. And I remember when I first heard the name, I laughed hysterically. His name was Sheen Estevez. It was like, okay, that was witty. Some people try to be clever and it fails, but that was pretty witty.
Yes, really. And like I said, it doesn't do romance a whole lot, but they did it, well enough to where it's hilarious. Like when you had Jet Fusion, Beautiful Gorgeous, that didn't last, but you knew it wasn't supposed to.
Right.
And you pretty much liked the people that they had in it, whether they worked out or not. It was still fun to see, and it felt like they were so honed in on it where nothing else mattered. They really just had fun with it because the show was fun itself. So they want to feel like everything you watched in the show was just hilarious and goofy and fun, and didn't feel like you were uncomfortable watching things that went on the screen.
No, never. And I think you start watching it again and you laugh just as hard in every single episode. Again, it's just really timeless and just unending fun.
Right.
So and no reality. That was one of the best parts of the series. There was nothing realistic about the show.
Right.
Nothing.
And then the thing about Jimmy is that, they didn't change the characters. When they get to the movie, there's suddenly different people in the show. The most they did is they gave Libby a makeover at some point in the show because it was time to change the hairdo and the clothes and all that, but that's it.
Right.
And Jimmy stayed being Jimmy. He's a genius and all, but he's still a kid. He still loves comics. He still loves having fun and goofing off. Experiments can go wrong, but he still has fun. And it showed, as you were saying earlier, about, him, with his friendship with Sheen and Carl. There was an episode they didn't want him hanging out with, Carl's parents didn't want him hanging out with Jimmy anymore because it was always him getting hurt. But they didn't know was like, he's fine with it. He was having fun with Jimmy, and they really were friends. They actually did really have that friendship there. He liked being the test subject for all the inventions because it was always something cool. And there was never a point where he just used him as a guinea pig for anything. They were
permanent accessory.
Right. He was genuinely having fun with him, and they were upset when they couldn't hang out anymore. So it really showed they really were best friends. It was not like a pinky in the brain scenario. Or two brains. Two pinkies.
Right. So have you seen Jimmy Neutron? We know you have.
Oh,
Let us know what you think in the comments below. And as we mentioned, it's available for purchase. I don't know if it's streaming on any...
Oh, yes. Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So if you haven't ever seen it, give it a watch. You're going to love it. And you're going to go, why didn't I watch this sooner? Or why did I never know about this? And you're going to come back and go, thank you.
Yes. Final thing, be sure to check out the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours.
Yes.
All three of them, where they have a crossover with the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes. Those are fun, hilarious fun. And we own how many?
Oh, we don't own any, unfortunately. Unfortunately, no. We've seen them all, but we don't own them. I think it's like its own DVD now, which they may include. They may include it on the complete series, which they should.
The first one I think is the best, though.
Yeah.
The first one is the absolute best. Channel Chasers.
Oh no! That was.
I call it
you mean
Channel
the movie?
Chaser. Yes.
Okay, the movie. You're right. I'm sorry. Yes. All three Power Hours are fantastic. So you definitely want to check out those as well.
Yes.
So, be sure to like, subscribe, and notifications while doing some future podcasts and more of the past videos.
Yes.
And thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And at Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.